We are recording, and we have our first example of completing the square in the year 2013. Are you ready? It goes a little something like this. A is what? 1. B is, and C is negative 15. And the example that you have in front of you says that the very first step is to, oh, by the way, the very first step is to actually make sure that it's not already a perfect square trinomial. It's not. Here's what you have to check for. Is C half of B squared? Ask yourself that question. Is C, negative 15, half of B squared? What's half of 6? What's 3 squared? 9. Is negative 15 9? No. Okay? So we need to complete the square. The green... This is a purposeful pause because I can go back and edit out the part where I said the green. Remember how I said the green, and then I cut it off? I know. Now that we have A, B, and C, and we know that C is not half of B squared, we must complete the square. And here's how it works. Are you ready? Here's my example. You leave x squared and 6x where they are. You bump the C out of the way, and you add a square and subtract a square. And then you write the C. This is the process. Some teachers teach it other ways. This is my favorite way. You move the C, move over C all the way to the end, and we're going to add and subtract a mystery number. That mystery number that we add and subtract will be the same. Well, what happens in an equation if you add and subtract the same thing? What have you really added? Nothing. You're just changing the look of the equation without actually changing its value because you've added 0. Okay? So, to get that missing square, you do the process that I just went over. You take half of B and square it. 9. So 9's the mystery number. All right? Take half of B and square it. That's the number that you add and subtract. Then you sort of split up the problem into 2 parts. One part that will be the perfect square part, and another part that we will just call the leftovers. All right? So let's finish it by taking the perfect square part and turning it into something squared. Something squared makes x squared plus 6x plus 9. It's called a perfect square trinomial. That something is x, because x squared is, say x squared, plus 3, because 3 squared is 9. And if you're wondering, what about the 6x? What would happen with the outside inside? 3x plus 3x makes your 6x. So that's the perfect square part. The leftovers, just figure out what they are. What's negative 9 minus 15? Negative 24. That's the equation of this same parabola in vertex form. So its vertex would be left how many? Left 3. Down 24. We have now completed the square.